Drum pads. I have way too many of them. Just kidding. Anyways, I've started to collect a bunch of practice pads, and I'm intending to collect more. Now, I'm gonna show you all my practice pads, and we're gonna start with the top one. This is the Remo 6-inch practice pad. It's just piece of foam and a drum pad on top. Pretty loud. Has a rim too. Has a little screw you can put a stand on. Has this foam surface so it doesn't slip everywhere. I don't really like this pad, but this was kind of my first pad ever. It was given by a friend, so there's that. Anyways, I don't know any use for this, but I guess you can use it for like concert snare drumming or just drum set. Next one, Remo Silent Stroke Pad. The Remo Silent Stroke Pad is the same as the Remo pad. The only difference is it has a silent stroke head in it, so it's a mesh head. The only thing that's bad about it is the mesh surface is very slippery, and mesh pads have way too much rebound, and all I know is that it will give you pretty bad pad hand. But at least it's a real drum head, so there's that. Second pad I have is, it's actually a Remo pad, but what I did is I took out the foam piece, spray painted the head, and spray painted the rim. It's because I seen this video from Snareman, and he basically explains a pad, this rudimental drummer pad, and it's just like, it's the same thing as this, but instead his version had an actual wooden base, metal rim, a marching snare on top, and like this like kind of like rubber surface underneath. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour like silicone rubber underneath and see what happens. Next pad is a pad I actually recently reviewed. It is the RCP Flex Series pad. Silicone surface, much quieter than your standard gum rubber pads. Good rebound, has a little foam underside so it doesn't slip on your tabletops. Anyways, this is my second practice pad I ever got. Is this Amazon 12-inch gum rubber pad. Not much about this pad. Has a little foam bottom that I fucked up. Thought it was double-sided. It's not. Not really much about this pad. It's just your generic gum rubber pad you can get in like Amazon or any music store, to be honest. Here we have the Hun, aka the RCP Active Snare Pad. This pad, it has a silicone playing surface. It has an adjustable snare mechanism. I'm not a big fan of this pad, but I got it because I thought it looks cool. So there's that. Reason why I don't like it is because it's very loud, and I guess I just don't like the sound of it. Now, this is the pad that I thought was the best, and I owned this for. I think this is my third pad I've owned. It is the Ahead snare pad, and I only got it because I saw the Zymox pads, and those pads looked cool at the time, and I wanted one, but Zymox does not deliver your shit, so I got this instead. And this, I honestly thought this was an amazing pad, but now it's kind of shit. It is very articulate, you know? You know, has a little snare beads on the bottom, you know, hard playing surface with a carbon fiber laminate, but it just doesn't feel good. Like, it has a hard playing surface, but I just feel like there's a lot of bounce. There's too much bounce, but there's not a lot of like down bounce. Like for example, you bounce up, but when you go back to hit again, you kind of lose a bit of rebound. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I feel like. It just doesn't feel good to play on. And it's also really heavy, but at least it arrived. Now this last pad is actually it's not a Zymox pad. It's from this company called Brash Drums. They used to be called Artifact Percussion, but now it's called Brash. Not much about Brash. The only difference is, it looks like a Zymox pad. It has a wooden base, has a rim, and snares on the bottom. And you can put your custom design. Only difference from it being a Zymox pad is it has an aluminum rim, so it's gonna last longer and not break like a fucking Zymox pad. And the snare beads is this little magnetic part. The cool thing about this is, instead of like the underside of it being like this rubber material, it's actually this fiber material underneath. And I don't know why it's fiber. I think it's supposed to replicate like material that like those Kevlar heads supposed to be, because those marching Kevlar heads are like it's like the fiber, you know. So maybe that's supposed to kind of like replicate the feel of it. So yeah, not much about this pad. I will say I was a bit stupid buying this pad because I bought this pad when the company was absolutely brand new. There was no reviews on the pad, and I only got it because a famous YouTuber announced it. But it arrived. It actually arrived in like 3 weeks. So I'm glad I got my product. I'm glad all these arrived, and not. I'm glad all my pads arrived, and not just don't get them. So yeah, get any drum pad you want with Zymox. Anywho, I'm intending to extend my collection. There's only 2 pads I'm interested in getting. One of them is the Invader V3. Why do I want the one? It's because every snare drummer has it, and why not? But the one I'm actually really interested in is the RCP Premium pad, and it just looks cool. It just looks cool. And it sounds amazing. I've heard it on YouTube. So yeah, there's my big collection of practice pads. Yeah, I'm gonna have more in the future. So yeah.